Welcome back. It's Nicole again, and we are going to finish up talking about McGraw-Hill e-assessment. So previously, we talked about how to actually create a recommended McGraw-Hill assessment, and now we're actually going to go in and I'm going to show you how to create one on your own. So we're going to go back into that Assess tab. Now we're logged in as a teacher and we're in our Teacher Edition book, and then we're going to click into that first box which says McGraw-Hill e-assessment. Remember, you have your question sets, which house all of the questions for every chapter. And then at the bottom here, you have your pre-made tests and quizzes, as well as your worksheets. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to create a new test. So you want to click on Create a New Test. It's going to ask you to title your test. So I'm going to title my test Chapter 1. Then it's going to ask you to highlight where you want to store your test. So we're going to store this test in My Tests. You can choose from these build options: build a test with questions randomly, build a test with questions randomly selected by specific questions, or you can build an empty test. We're going to choose the first option. Then click Next. You can choose questions from all question sets or from all tests. So we're going to click into All Tests. We're going to go into, click the plus sign next to that U.S. History title. And then I want questions just from Chapter 1. So I'm going to put a check in that box next to Chapter 1. Then click Next. I can either do this test in English or Spanish. I'm going to choose English. Next. And now you have all of the different types of questions that you can choose from. So out of the 5 completion questions, I will choose 2 for my test. Out of the 15 matching questions, I will choose 5. And out of the 35 multiple choice, I will choose 10. Then click Next. It will show you a summary of what you've chosen. So we've chosen 17 questions for our test. And then Finish. And there you have created your test. Now you can go in, and if you click next to that pencil, you can edit, delete, duplicate questions. Remember, you can always go over to the question sets, open up a particular chapter, and you can drag and drop specific questions onto your test. Now, if we want to assign this test to students, you would go to the right box where it says Test Generator, and you will change this to Classes and Assignments. Now what you're going to do over here in the top box where it says Classes, you are going to drag over the class period that you want to assign this test to. And here you can see I have different tests and worksheets and quizzes already assigned. We are going to create a new assignment that I'm going to assign to this class period. It's going to ask for the name of my test, so remember we named it Chapter 1. Now I have to actually find that test, and remember I housed that test in the My Test folder. So I would just go and click on that Chapter 1 test, click OK. You can record the assignment, you can use it as a study guide, you can even change the category for this test. Click Next. Now you can include all of the students that are in that class period, or just by clicking the arrow you can exclude certain students. So this really allows you to differentiate this assessment. Then click Next. Here you have all of the different criteria that you can choose for your test. You can limit the number of times students can complete the assignment. You can limit the availability on specific dates and times. You can allow students to check their responses. You can scramble the questions, scramble answer choices, and so forth. Once you've made your choices, click Next. Here you select options for what to present to the students when the assignment is completed. Do not present an end of assignment report, present only assignment score, or present detailed report for all responses. And then click Next. Here is a summary of all of your choices, and Finish. So now what you've done is you've actually created a test. You've assigned that test to your students. Your students can log in, take that assessment. Once they click Submit, it will then come back into your platform, into your reporting section. So you're going to want to go to that box again, and now you're going to click into Reporting. You're going to find that same class period. You're going to drag it over. You'll see your students listed, and then you can actually go in and you can click on reports. You can pull up individual student reports or all student reports. Just to give you an idea, if we go into individual student reports, you can click on assignment review, and it will actually provide you with an assignment review report. There are up to 13 different reports that you can pull up for your students. So just to recap, we went in to McGraw-Hill e-assessment. We already saw all of and talked about the test question sets, talked about the pre-made tests. We dragged and dropped a pre-made test. We talked about how you can edit those tests. We went in and created our own test. You created the criteria that you wanted that test to be a part of. You assigned that test to your students, and then you were able to go into reporting and then pull up the different reports for that test. So I really suggest that you go in and you try each of those areas that we just walked through, and really maybe do a practice test, maybe just with 2 to 3 or 5 questions, and submit that to your students, have them complete it, and then submit it back to you.